Guys, good evening. This is day 5 of the 25 days of mental health. I'm just going to kick this one off, no mucking about. This is one that really hits home for me big time, and one I've suffered with the majority of my life, to be honest. Body dysmorphia. So, yeah, here goes. Body dysmorphia. Let's do this. Body dysmorphia. Boom! The dad bod. Here we go. So, yeah. A couple of these. A couple of these. And a couple of these. Body dysmorphia. It's real. Okay, let's get the top back on now. God, that's so nerve-wracking doing that. Body dysmorphia. Okay, so the majority of my life, I have been into fitness. Now, when I was younger, in primary school, I was probably a little bit heavier to begin with than a lot of the other kids. Especially after I broke my leg at 8 years old, I came back and I was a little bit chunky because I couldn't run about the same as everyone else. It took me a little bit longer to get back in the swing of things, so I had to lose a bit of weight. And towards the end of primary school, so like primary 6, 7, when I was playing football and I was predominantly like the captain, and I was always I'll put my hands up, I was always the fittest one. Because I was always trying to push myself as hard as I possibly could. And then when I entered secondary school, that's when I started to get in a bit of shape. I trained every day. Like, I literally trained every day as a kid. Especially when I went into my teens, I was training. I was getting up first thing in the morning, going for a 3-mile run. I was doing PE. I was training at lunch times. After school, I had football. When I'd come home from football, I was doing my own personal training at night. So by the age of like 14, 15, I was completely ripped to bits. I was shredded. And then when I got a little bit older, so like 16, 17, when I was in the military, I started bulking up. And then 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I was in like the pinnacle shape. I was the fittest person I knew. I was in incredible shape, but it's something I could never see. I would always get told, "Oh, Mike, you're in great shape." And only in fractions of the day I could see it. Whether the light was perfect, if I had a good workout, if I was in a good mood, if I finally found the right clothes to fit me. And people always just say, "Oh, Mike, you wear tight clothes." And I'm like, no, I just wear clothes that fit me very well. And I see it now. I see people, walking around like that with the tight clothes, and I look at them thinking, I hope they're okay. I don't really think, God, that guy's up himself. How arrogant can he be? Because the chances are they probably can't see it themselves. And I fell into quite a dark hole, because I trained all the time to get this perfect body, but you're chasing something from what I see now didn't exist, because I didn't have a goal. I just trained and trained, and I would train for maybe 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours a day. Fact, I used to train for that length of time, overtrain, kill my body to get in a shape that it didn't exist. I chased perfect. But because I didn't have that end goal, I couldn't ever achieve it. So I found myself basically put my body through torture, and I could never see what was staring back at me in the mirror. I had the abs. I had the traps that were like 2 heads either side of my body. The lats. My obliques were showing. My transversus abdominis, my rectus abdominis. All the fancy word that not many people will probably care about. It's not until now I look back and I think, bloody hell. Tell you what, you were in good shape there. But at the time I couldn't ever see it. And it's scary to think that. I used to have desserts when I was a kid. I remember always having sticky toffee pudding, custard, and I would always have ice cream, because what I actually found is I could eat it all and throw it up without getting too much acid, because the ice cream would neutralise it. And it's horrible, because it goes back to bulimia, but I wouldn't say I was that. Well, maybe I was, I'm not sure, possibly, but it goes back to that. I was that scared of being overweight, and people say, but you're not overweight, look at you, you've got your abs there. But at that moment, and I hope some people can relate to this, at that moment in time, you just can't see it. You cannot see it. It doesn't matter if somebody says, oh my God, you've got the best physique in the world. It's not like you don't appreciate their compliment or what they're trying to say, but you can't see it. And it almost used to anger me when people complimented me, because I'm like, can you not see that I'm fat? Can you not see that I've got a massive belly? And it's not that it's fat, it's just, it might be excess skin. And I look back now and I wish I was just happy with my physique. Like, who was I trying to impress? Who was I actually trying to impress? Because I didn't impress myself. I killed myself for it. It made me sad. Being in the best shape of my life was probably the saddest I've ever been. And that's crazy, because a lot of people that are maybe a little bit overweight or maybe not happy with their current physique, they look at these people that are absolutely ripped and think, wow, being like that would make me happy. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't really exist. Or maybe it exists. Maybe it exists in bodybuilding if you win the top trophy. I don't know. I generally don't know. It might do, it might not. Because these guys, they train non-stop, but they have a goal. And that was probably my biggest fault that I had, is I didn't set myself a goal. So when I was training all the time, it wasn't really for anything, because there was no limit. So, you know, for me, the body dysmorphia thing is absolutely massive, and I can see it a lot in teenagers now, especially with likes of Instagram and social media. The people that train and, you know, they get all the supplements and everything, which I was one of the guys. I used to take loads of different proteins, amino acids, energy supplements. I used to take it all. I used to do all my research to try and enhance my body. But yeah, body dysmorphia it's a hard one. It is a hard one. And my worry and fear for a lot of these guys, I say guys as males and females, especially in the younger generation, is they get caught up in stuff that doesn't really matter. Your physical image doesn't matter. It doesn't. And it's only taken me to be an adult to look back and realise that. One question I've been asked quite a lot recently is, if you could sit down and have a talk with anyone, who would it be? And I always say myself when I was 16 years old. That's who I'd like to have a talk with. Because that's when I felt that being physically fit and physically ripped, I thought that was the most important thing in the entire world. Where I look back now and it couldn't be further from the truth. I've actually lost friends because I was trying to train so hard on an image that didn't matter to anyone other than me. That's crazy. Why the hell would you do that? Why do people do that? So unless you're training for a goal, unless you're training for a physique, a specific physique to set something maybe on stage or whatever, I totally get it. But if you're doing it for no reason, have a think. Have a real deep think. Why are you trying to achieve something? Why are you trying to do it? And unless you can justify that reason, just stop and try and find happiness within yourself. So stop focusing on what you think other people want you to look like, and just focus on what you really want to feel like. So that's my number 5 day of the 25 days of mental health, body dysmorphia. Positive energy. Good to go, guys. Stay safe. Bye.